ये प्लेटफॉर्म हमें लाइफ में कैसे एक्साइटिंग रहना है वो सिखाता है, एक दूसरे को कैसे हेल्प करना है वो सिखाता है, हर इंसान में क्या अच्छी खासियत है वो देखना सिखाता है। हर एक के लाइफ में अप डाउन्स तो होते ही रहते हैं, लेकिन ये प्लेटफॉर्म में आने के बाद इंसान सब कुछ भूल जाता है। और उसका रीजन है, उसको यहाँ पे एक मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम मिलता है। तो हम लोग बहुत फॉर्चुनेट है कि हमारे लाइफ में हमारा लाइफ अच्छा कैसे हो वो बताने के लिए लियो एंड टिफनी जैसे मेंटर है। ये टीम एक्सट्रीम बहुत प्राउड फील कर रही है, क्योंकि ये टीम एक्सट्रीम उनकी बेबी है। उनका पर्पस यही था कि इंडिया में आके इंडियन लोगों को लाइफ के बारे में जो मुझे पता है वो उनसे शेयर करके उनका लाइफ कैसे अच्छा होगा। और उन्होंने ये तब शुरू किया था, तब ये सोशल मीडिया इतना काम नहीं कर रहा है। हम एक दूसरे से कम्युनिकेशन करने के लिए भी बहुत तकलीफ थी, इतनी तकलीफ थी कि मुझे याद है कि मुझे ट्रंक कॉल बुक करना पड़ता था, और फिर एक 15 मिनट के बाद फिर वो कॉल आ जाता था, और कितना टाइम बात करनी वो भी उसको बताना पड़ रहा था। ऐसे टाइम से लियो हमें बता रहे हैं कि अपने बॉक्स के बाहर कैसे जाना है, क्योंकि तब इंडिया में किसी ने भी ओलंपिक में भी गोल्ड मेडल नहीं लिया था। तो ये जो चैंपियन रहते हैं उनकी मेंटालिटी कैसी होती है, वो कैसा सोचते हैं, उनका दिनचर्या हम लोग बोलते हैं वो कैसे होता है, उनके लाइफ में उनको हेल्प करने वाले कौन कौन लोग होते हैं, और वो आउट ऑफ बॉक्स कैसे देखते हैं और कितने कंसिस्टेंसी देखते हैं, ये सब थोड़ा थोड़ा आके हमें वो बताते थे। तब इतना पता नहीं था कि इतना इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है। हम लोग भक्त की तरह उनके पास जाते थे, उनके साथ बैठते थे, और हमें एक चीज का ना बहुत ही आश्चर्य होता था कि ये इंसान थकता क्यों नहीं है। पूरे दिन भर वो बात करते हैं और ऐसा लगता ही नहीं है कि उनकी बात को छोड़ के मैं चला जाऊं। आज वो 70 की प्लस है और वो भी एनर्जी वैसे के वैसे ही है। बीच में अभी बहुत सारी चीजें हो गई है, उनको हेल्थ के भी चैलेंज आए, लेकिन कहते हैं ना कि चैंपियन है ना वो हर चीज ओवरकम करता है। आज जितने भी लोग नए हैं यहाँ पे, जिन्होंने उनको देखा भी नहीं है, सुना नहीं है, आप बहुत फॉर्चुनेट हो, क्योंकि उनकी एनर्जी कम नहीं हुई है। उनका वो जो पर्पस है देना है, वो अभी भी वो वही दे रहे हैं। इनफैक्ट मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि उनका बुक पब्लिश होने के बाद वो थोड़े और एग्रेसिव हो गए हैं। तो ऐसे मेंटर हमें मिले हैं, और ये एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे वो स्पिरिचुअल भी बात करेंगे, वो फाइनेंस की भी बात करेंगे, वो अपनी पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट कैसी होगी उसकी भी बात करेंगे, पूरे वर्ल्ड में क्या चल रहा है, फ्यूचर क्या है उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे। और सिर्फ वो बुक की बात नहीं करेंगे। वो जब बात करते हैं ना तो ऐसा लगता है कि उनकी खुद की हिस्ट्री है और वो हमें बता रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो सब उन्होंने जिया है। कल ही हम लोग एक यूट्यूब पे मैं और रश्मि यार्ड्स का वो ये था वीडियो था, वो देख रहे थे, और हमने वो एक लैविश वैश यार्ड्स का वीडियो देखा। उसका फेयर था, बुक करना है हमें
2 घंटे के लिए,
तो 2 घंटे के लिए 2.5 lakhs, और वो खुद ओन कर रहे हैं। 52 फीट का, हमें बता रहे हैं कि मैं कैसे जी रहा हूं मेरा ड्रीम। हमें उतना इंपॉर्टेंस उसका पता नहीं पड़ रहा है, हम बहुत ग्रांटेड लेते हैं। लेकिन थर्ड इंसान कुछ भी उसके बारे में बात करता है तभी हमें पता चलता है, अरे ये ऐसा है क्या। और वो हमें इनवाइट कर रहे हैं कि आ जाओ हम घूमेंगे, और वो डिनर करने के लिए उनके यार्ड से जाते हैं, फिर वो वहां पे डॉक में लगाते हैं, डिनर करते हैं, हमें उतना पता नहीं पड़ रहा है। तो ऐसा इंसान कुछ हमें देना चाहता है, हम कितने लेने के लिए तैयार। हमारी झोली खाली रहनी चाहिए। आज वो जो बताने वाले हैं, मैं एक हाफ एन आवर्स पहले उनसे बात की थी, वो उनके कार में थे और मुझे बोल रहे थे कि हम बात करेंगे, बाद में बात करता हूं, बाद में फोन करेंगे। तो आज हमें जो देने वाले हैं ना, आज देखो कि यहाँ पे सब अभी सही मायने में यहाँ पे हर एक के साथ तो मैं बात नहीं कर सकता हूं, लेकिन आपका पर्पस क्या है, आज आप वीडियो ऑन करके यहाँ पे क्यों बैठे हो। आप लैपटॉप होगा आपका, नहीं तो आप आपके मोबाइल से ज्वाइन किया होगा आपने। आपका मकसद क्या है, आप क्यों बैठे हो। और एक सत्संग जैसा है, कोई सत्संग में न सिर्फ स्पिरिचुअली बातें होती है, कोई सत्संग में लाइफ में आगे कैसा जाना उसके बारे में बात होती है। यह सत्संग एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे आपको सब कुछ मिलेगा। तो मुझे पता नहीं, अभी मैं बात करते समय देखा नहीं लियो आए हैं या नहीं आए हैं।
लियो इज देयर।
लियो आ गए, ओके। देखो उनकी हंसी देखो, 70+। तो एक कपल देखो, क्या एक्साइटमेंट है लाइफ में। तो अभी मैं मेरे जबान को लगाम देता हूं और पूरा कंट्रोल ये मीटिंग का उनको दे रहा हूं। आप सब लोग तैयार हो जाइए अपनी झोली लेके, मैं बुलाने जा रहा हूं आप सभी की तरफ से, हम सबके मेंटर लियो एंड टिफनी जेसुडियन। लियो आर यू देयर।
नाउ बिफोर लियो टेक इट ओवर, सबको मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि बहुत सारे लोगों ने वीडियोस ऑन किए हैं। प्रशांत एंड अमोल दवने हैज़ नॉट इट स्टार्टेड देयर वीडियोस। यू आर रिक्वेस्टेड टू स्टार्ट योर वीडियो। लियो आने के बाद अगर वीडियो चालू नहीं है तो आप मीटिंग अटेंड नहीं कर पाएंगे।
मुकुंदराज उनको उसका रीजन बताइए, लियो ने जो लास्ट टाइम कहा था।
I'm traveling right now.
You can watch it afterwards. It will be on the YouTube. लियो ने ये कहा था, लियो इज़ ट्राइंग टू ज्वाइन, आई थिंक थोड़ा सा इशू हो रहा है। यस, लियो इज़ ज्वाइनिंग। देखिए, एवरीबडी इज़ टेकिंग टाइम आउट ऑफ देयर इम्पोर्टेंट शेड्यूल्स, और आप सबके प्रेजेंस को हम अप्रिशिएट करते हैं। एट द सेम टाइम लियो इज़ ऑल्सो टेकिंग हिज टाइम आउट, स्पेशल टाइम आउट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस, एंड लियो वांट टू सी अस ऑल। अपने फेसेस को आँख में आँख डाल के वो बात करना चाहते हैं और हमारे रिस्पॉन्सेस को देखना चाहते हैं, सो दैट द सेशन विल बी इंटरैक्टिव। सो ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है कि ये वीडियो चालू करना, और वो ये भी देखना चाहते हैं कि हम कितने सीरियस हैं। अगर हमने वीडियो नहीं चालू किया है तो मे बी वी माइट बी डूइंग सम अदर एक्टिविटी। ही डोंट वांट दैट, एंड ही वांट ओनली सीरियस पीपल ऑनलाइन विथ हिम. That is the main reason why he wanted us to start our videos, and thank you everybody. Amol, you need to start your video. Leo, we are on. You are welcome.
I'm on.
We can't see you. Your video is also required.
My video is on.
Your video is on, but we can't see. Something is there above the camera.
He is invisible. Video is on, but he is invisible.
You need to select your camera. I think you might have 2, 3 cameras.
1 second.
You may have to. त्यांचे स्पॉन्सरला सांगू नका.
By the time Leo joins, I request all of you to introduce yourself. Yes, Leo is there. And now we can see Tiffany also.
Okay, and Amol Dave, you're going to have to put your video on, or I'm going to ask you to leave the meeting. I was serious when I was talking last time. And Dr. Sanjay, anybody else who is a physician or a doctor, you leave your video on, you just turn off your mic if you're busy with the patients. I understand that's important. It's a life-saving thing, but everybody else, we're in, okay? Excellent. Welcome, Michael. I mean, Amol. So now you can start the meeting, Mukunda, Sharada, whoever is going to start the meeting.
Sharad has already started the meeting and just wanting you to just get it started now. Please come on the stage.
Okay.
You're all
Okay, all right. My whole process here is to help you understand a very important aspect of success, not of the Amway business. Because if you learn the principle of success, you will be very successful in the Amway business. You'll be successful in your other work. You'll be successful in your relationships with your children, your wife, your husband, your family. You've got to learn how to become successful with people. Because you see, your success with people depicts how successful you're going to be or not going to be. When somebody says, I don't like people, I prefer to be in a room with my computer, that doesn't mean that they cannot be successful as a code writer, but they're not going to be successful in life because these people don't know how to react to people like their family, their friends, their co-workers. They are very difficult to relate to. So I'm not talking about just money, okay? Because money is important, and you know that I like money, and I know that you like money, and I want to make money. That's not the point. The point is success is more than money. And the business that we're in is more than money, okay? It's freedom, it's respectability, it's, dignity, and all of those fun things. So I want you to really focus on success rather than the business of doing e-commerce on the web and developing a community. Now, every e-commerce business on the internet is 100% involved in developing community. And community, they think, and they do very well, by the way. like you take Amazon, you take eBay, you take big companies, international companies. They do very well on the internet, but they have zero relationship one-on-one with the people. And you cannot have a relationship with 10,000 people, 100,000 people, a million people, 100 million people, a billion people. You cannot have a relationship like that, okay? What you do need to do is to have a relationship with your inner circle. And inner circle means your leadership. Now, how you deal with your leadership will determine your success on an ongoing basis for the rest of your life, in life, not just money. And so we try to hang around people that think like us. And that's good. That's good. But if you're going to hang around people who think like you, then you have no job to do. Because they think like you think like them, there's nothing to do. The money is, the success is, the joy is in understanding people who don't think like you and slowly bring them around to think. And when they think, they'll think like you. Because people don't think like you because they're not thinking. How come we think alike? All of us on this broadcast, because we're thinking. We're not listening to news. We're not listening to the media, social, websites. No, we don't care. We are interested in building relationships, and so we're thinking. If you and I disagree about something, we're fine. Whereas if the people who don't think disagree with you, they don't want to know you. They don't want to talk to you anymore because you disagree with them or they disagree with you. And that's not us. We're interested in working with people with all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of philosophies, and we find a common ground to work. And that is true success. Now, the company that we have, the process in place, the system is not in place yet. It is going to be in place. Sharad had a conversation with the IBO representative, whatever you want to call the man's portfolio. I don't know who he is. And he said that it's happening, it's in the works. So Sharad said, when? When will the system be in place? No answer. No date. No target. So, will it be done? Yeah. They usually do everything they say they do. They do it. They're not liars. They don't lie. They will do it. But in the meantime, they're making money. They're making money shipping goods, doing this, doing that. You and I, our business is like dead. We cannot go forward without a system in place. So, Sharad and Rashmi and Mukund and Swati and both the doctors Doke, Sanjay and Hema, and Suvarna and Deepak Bhosle, and hopefully you included Suresh and his wife from Surat, but they have come to terms with the fact that they're going to move forward with a system that we use till the new system comes into place. When the new system comes into place, we'll transition into the new system, but we cannot just wait. Already we are delayed by the dislocation of the business due to the government bringing up stuff from 2011, over a decade old. Okay, so fine, but that we could not control because it's out of our control. This is in our control. So now they have come up with 10 books and 10 CDs or audios. They're going to have a link so you can use that. and you have a system in place. Now, my advice to you, okay, and I'm going to get a little religious. And the reason why I'm getting religious is not because I want to talk about religion. I'm going to get religious because it's a discipline. When you're a believer in God, you're disciplined. You have laws and guidelines. Discipline is what? Rules and regulations. Is discipline. If I have no rules, I can get up anytime, I can not work, I can work, I can eat anything, I can not eat anything, I can do whatever I want. And I can just, no discipline, no rules, no regulations, I can just be like an animal. As soon as you put rules and regulations and guidelines in place and you stay within the parameters of your rules and regulations, you're disciplined. You're disciplined. Now, the word discipline is used over the last 30 years. It has gotten a new meaning. And actually, it's the same meaning, but it's being used in a different statement. When somebody asks you, what is your discipline? That is one way of asking you, what do you do? A doctor's discipline is medicine. An engineer's discipline is, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, software engineering, aeronautical engineering, chemical engineering, whatever. A scientist's discipline is whatever science they're in, biology, chemistry, physics. What is your job? And aren't you disciplined? Aren't you disciplined in your job? You're disciplined in your job. Because if you're not disciplined, your boss is going to give you a little bit of dhamki. And if you own your own game, if you own your own business, you're going to get dhamki from the clients, the customers. So, in your work, you're disciplined. Whether it's simple work or complicated work, you have a discipline. So now that word discipline has transformed from just having discipline to what is your discipline? Okay? So we have discipline when we are religious, when we believe in God, because there are guidelines. You cannot do this. You cannot lie. You cannot cheat. You cannot kill. You cannot, rob. You cannot, look at another man's spouse in a way that's wrong. We all are disciplined. Now, when you have a situation where you're disciplined, your business demands you to be disciplined. And so we are going to develop a discipline. Now, my mother, when I was growing up, I used to see her, she read all the time, like all the time. If you didn't see her with a book, there's something wrong. She always was reading. And she was a very well-read woman. And she used to smoke. My mother smoked when women never smoked in public in India. And my mother smoked. And my father's older sister, my father was the youngest in his family of 13. So his older sister was the same age as my mother's father. Because my mother was the oldest in her family and he was the youngest in his family. So his older sister was the same age as, like my aunt was the same age as my grandmother. My aunt from my dad's side, my oldest aunt, and my grandfather and grandmother were in the same age group. So my dad's older sister, my mother used to smoke. And you don't smoke in front of your parents in India when I was growing up. You don't smoke in front of anybody of authority. You smoke, if you smoke quietly. My mother used to smoke. So she had a cigarette in her hand and a book. And that was my mother. If I was going to make a drawing, I'd draw my mother with a cigarette and a book. That was my mother. And she would smoke and read. But she started the day by reading the Bible. And when I was like 8 or 9 or 10 years old, I asked her, Mom, when are you going to finish the Bible? Because she used to finish other books, but she kept reading the Bible. So for my young mind, I thought that she's not finishing the Bible. When is she going to finish the Bible? Because she's keeping on reading the same book. But the other time, a fat book, she finishes and says, I need another book, another, So I said, when are you going to finish the Bible? So she smiled, took a drag on her. This was, when she read the Bible, she didn't smoke. It's disrespect. But she would be smoking, and I'd say, when are you going to finish the Bible? She'd take a drag, and she says, son, I'll never finish the Bible. And then I said, what do you mean? You finish other books? She says, when I say I never finish the Bible, I mean I'll finish it and start it again, finish it and start it again, finish it and start it again. So I said, why? You don't understand the first time you read? Because this is a 9-10-year-old talking. You got to understand, I didn't have the wisdom. So she says, oh, I understand what I read. So I said, so why do you have to read it again and again and again? She says, because every time you read it, it speaks to you differently. I say, I don't understand. She says, you will not understand. So what I suggest you do, son, is you read the Bible. And when you finish, you come back again and you read the Bible. And when you finish, you come back again and read the Bible. From start to finish, to start to finish, to start to finish. And you will know what I'm talking about. So I was very curious. I'm like, my mother is a very intelligent woman. This sounds so stupid that you cannot understand once you read. But what is this problem that she cannot explain to me and I have to read it to figure it out? So the curiosity factor, I was not interested in the reading and all of that stuff. I was not really interested in all of that stuff. But the curiosity that my mother couldn't explain something got me. And I started to read the Bible. And I read it once, and it's very complicated. And it's an adult book, huh? There is everything in it. Violence, all kinds of horrific stuff, sex, do's and don'ts, the origin of words that you and I use comes from the Bible. We don't even know we use words, and I don't want to get into that right now. There's a word that everybody uses on earth and doesn't know it comes from the Bible and Bible alone. It doesn't come from anywhere else. And every human being on earth who speaks English would use that word. It's not a good word, so I'm not going to say it. So, I started to read the Bible. Now, why did I tell you that? I'll tell you why I told you that. You have 10 audios and 10 books. You read it again and again and again and again. The same 10 books and the same 10 audios. Now, why do these things speak to you differently when you keep reading them? I'll tell you why. Because the first time you read it, you understand some things. You cannot understand everything. That's it. That's not possible. You can understand a lot. But some things you just understand, you don't comprehend. What's the difference between understanding and comprehension? I'll tell you. You understand how to fly from Mumbai to Delhi. The pilot comprehends how to fly from Mumbai to Delhi. The passenger doesn't comprehend. The passenger understands what to do. The pilot comprehends. It's a little more detail. In fact, it's complete detail. That's why it's called comprehensive. When you say I have comprehensive insurance, which means complete insurance. It covers everything. I have a comprehensive insurance policy. It covers everything. There's no elimination. So when you comprehend something, you understand it all. So you understand the Bible or the book that you're giving to read every month. You read a book. So in 10 months, you've read 10 books. Start from book number 1 again. Why? Because I'll tell you why. First, you understand it. Now you're doing stuff. Then the second time you read it, you comprehend it a little bit. Because some of the things you've done from the book. And you're like, now I understand what the author was trying to say. And then you do some more and you do some more, and suddenly it speaks to you differently from the first time you read it, and almost becomes like the first time you read the book was like a joke. It wasn't worth it. But the 6th or 7th time you read the book, you're like, man, this is wisdom. This is amazing. This will help not only my business, but my life. And success is not your business. I told you last time, that your work or your business is not your dream. It's just a means to pay for your everyday living, your career, and your business. This, if you work it right, will pay for your dreams. But everything pays for something. Otherwise money is worthless. I've told you this a million times. Why don't you come to the United States with 1 crore rupees, not dollars, and see what it's worth? What can you buy? You can buy a teaspoon of sugar with 1 crore rupees. You convert it into dollars, you can buy something, a lot of things. So I tell you in simple terms, money is worthless if it cannot buy something. It's worthless. It's not even worth the paper it's printed on. Toilet paper is worth more than money because you can use it anywhere in the world. So remember, money is not worth anything if you can't do something with it. So money is a tool to do something with it. Either you're going to pay your bills and live, or you're going to live your dreams. And we're all about dreams. We're not interested in just living, because everybody just lives till you die. A comedian once said, he says, this guy came to me and said, I'm sorry I'm late, but there was a car crash on my way here and the driver died instantly. So the comedian says, everybody dies instantly. You're not dead till you're dead. Dr. Doke will say, as long as there's the machine is going like this, you're alive, and suddenly flatline, you're dead. You die instantly. So the comedian was very funny, in as much as everybody does die instantly. Some die violently, some die like slowly, like they deteriorate in health, but they don't die slowly. They deteriorate in health slowly, but they die instantly. That's why the coroner is the doctor who certifies the death, certifies by the minute. Death occurred at 10:03 p.m. That's when the death occurred. Bam! Instant. Like there's no around 10 o'clock. No. It's actual time. Why? Because you die instantly, and the comedian was very funny. He was right. Everybody dies instantly. So now you're going to understand the process, and then suddenly a light bulb goes off instantly. Ba-boom! And you're like, wow, that's what the author meant. And then you do some more work, and then you come back to the book after 10 months and you go boom, boom, boom. 3 more light bulbs went off, because there were different sections of the business of the book that you understood better because you were doing stuff. So you see, we need to read good things more than once. In fact, all the time. The other thing is, Let me tell you something that's very, very, very crucial. And maybe you know it and maybe you don't. And if you don't, listen to me. If you know it, then I'm just telling you what you know, which is good. Because we need to hear it again and again and again. And what is that? Extremely successful people. Extremely successful people are like a broken record. They're like a broken record. They say the same thing again and again and again and again. They speak their core values. They speak their core values. And the core values are not 100,000, 10,000, 500. There are a handful of values, just like maybe 5 core values. You can count them on your hands. So, very successful people. Now, moderately successful people, they'll talk about this, that, and they have little. But extremely successful people repeat the same thing again and again and again and again and again. They don't stop, regardless of what is happening. Regardless of what is happening, whether they are successful or not, they repeat the same thing. Why? Because their core values make them successful. So when they have a new project, you're like, man, you've been talking about it for the last 3 years and where's the results? They're not going to change their core values because you asked them a stupid question. They're going to maintain their core values no matter what happens. They'll die with their core values. Just like you and I are going to die with our core values. I'm going to die with my core values. No human being can change my core values. Only I can change it. And why would I change it? If I see something wrong, I'll try to change it, and it might take time, because to change your value system takes a long time. It's not something that you decide. You can decide instantly, but the change will take years, sometimes decades. So, you're going to listen to those audios. In 30 days, those 10 audios you're going to listen to 3 times each. Easily. You listen 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, that's 1 month. Three times. And then you say, what about the next month? Do it again. Why? Core values. Successful people. When you listen to the same good stuff again and again, your core values will be adopting the core values of those successful people. And once you adopt those core values of the successful people, there is nothing to stop you from succeeding like they did. Nothing. Governments, organizations, parents, teachers, nothing will stop you from achieving the success if your core values are changed. The reason why you and I are where we are is that we haven't changed enough. We are where we are because we haven't changed enough. If we want to get somewhere, we got to change some more. If we want to go far, we got to change some more. It's like anything. Your emotions, your brain, and your physical self are all the same. If you keep using it, it develops. It develops. If you don't use it, it atrophies. If you don't get up and walk every day, in about 2 months, you won't be able to walk. You'll need a wheelchair. As healthy as you are, you'll need a wheelchair. Why? Because your joints and your muscles it'll atrophy, and you will not be able to walk. So we have to use our minds and our emotions correctly so that we can grow and get stronger. We have to be emotionally strong. We cannot be weak. People who are emotionally weak never succeed. If you're emotionally weak, time to start changing. If you're mentally weak, time to start reading and changing. If you're spiritually weak, time to start developing a relationship with God that's better than what you have right now. If you're physically weak, time to exercise and eat properly. And if you're financially weak, time to work harder and make the money. Now, the only people I feel bad for that are very capable and don't make money are the people who live in Cuba or North Korea or some of these crazy countries in the Middle East and Africa, where the government is so crazy they don't allow people to flourish. But you and I, we don't have a problem. You and I don't have a problem. And if we're not advancing, it's us. It's not anybody else. No, but you don't understand. The government has... No. Are you in a free society where you're allowed to flourish? Yes. Well, then work with the rules of your country and make out. It's that simple. Don't complain. You've got yours, I've got mine. We have no excuse. We have to work with our rules and regulations of the countries we live in. Now, the worst thing you could do is bend the rules and regulations of your country. There's only two things that a country does when you bend the rules and regulations. They either fine you or imprison you or both. You don't want either. You don't want to be fined and you don't want to be imprisoned or follow the country. I'm like, hey, follow the rules. Follow the rules of your country. Okay? Wherever you are. When you go to another country, follow the rules. But I don't like it. It's like they're crazy. Hey, then don't go there. Okay? You go somewhere, follow the rules. Just like you follow the discipline of your business, follow the discipline when you go anywhere. You have to be disciplined. Okay? The world is not for undisciplined people. People without discipline, I pray they were born rich. So then it doesn't matter. Wealthy people's children, they don't care. It's okay, fine. At least you're born rich, man. I have some relatives from my wife's side. They were born wealthy. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. If they were born in a poorer family, whoa, it would be a totally different scene. But now they don't have to do anything because they were born and left money. I have a cousin in India. He's the most indisciplined person I know. But in the 70s, my cousin's family was worth 600 crores. In the 70s. When 1 lakh was like, the lottery was 1 lakh. In the 70s. 1 lakh for a lottery ticket. And if you won 1 lakh, wow, that's the 70s. And his family was worth 600 crores. And this cousin of mine he's very intelligent. He went to MIT. MIT is the premier technological institute on earth. You might say IIT. I say IIT comes to MIT. All the IIT guys are sitting in MIT. Trust me. MIT is like Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And this guy, my cousin, went to MIT, got a master's degree there, very smart, but totally indisciplined. But thank God he was rich, because he doesn't have a financial problem. He has other problems. He doesn't have a money problem. If he was not rich, he'd had to work with his tail off. And thank God he was smart. He would have worked hard because obviously he's goofing off because he's very wealthy. And I don't know what the family is worth now. But honestly, I still talk to him a lot. But you know what? I don't relate to him at all. In 1975, he came to America because he's older than me. He came to America because he went to MIT, and he came to Massachusetts, and he said, I want to do some business. I said, okay. So he says, I want you to be my partner. Now, I was bloody young guy, and I was excited. Yeah, my cousin's wanting me to be a partner, and he's got so much money. It's like, wow, that's a partner. So I said, why do you want me to be a partner? Like, I'm not a tech guy. He said, no, I'm opening up an IT company. I said, I'm not a tech guy. He says, yeah, but you're good in sales and marketing. Don't worry about the technology, and we'll take care of that. I said, okay. So he drew up he's brilliant, huh? Very smart guy. He drew up a contract, him and me. And he says, do you need a lawyer to look at this? So I said, you don't have a lawyer? I don't need a lawyer. I'm not as smart as he was, but I'm pretty smart too. So if he doesn't use a lawyer, I don't need a lawyer. He wrote a beautiful contract between him and me, and we became partners. And we signed it, and we had a witness. If you don't have a witness, that signature, the two signatures are not really powerful. So we had a witness and everything, and now we're partners. Nothing happened. With great gusto, we formed a company and everything. He didn't do anything. I didn't realize at that time that the guy was a goofy guy. And he didn't need to do anything. He just had big plans. No action. Zero action. Till today, we have never talked about why he didn't do anything. So there are people like that on both sides of my wife's family and my family. They have great ideas. They're not stupid people. They're like, but they don't have to do anything. So they don't. You see, if you don't have a burn, you're not going to do it. If you don't have a burn, you're not going to do it. And my cousin Michael didn't have a burn. Ever. He never had a burn. I always grew up with a burn because we had nothing. What I had, my father had. I had nothing. My father had all the, the saluting and the chauffeur-driven car and all that stuff. And I thought when I grow up, I'll inherit that. No, you don't have anything, Leo. Go get your own. Oh, okay. That's difficult. So I had a burn. You have a burn, you'll do it. You don't have a burn, you'll just talk. Gotta have a burn. And how do you talk to people? When you read those 10 books, you won't have a problem talking to people. If you don't read the 10 books, you might have an issue. When you read those 10 books and you really read them, go to a quiet place. Don't read where there's noisy people around, where you get distracted. Do you know you can read and be distracted mentally? That's a fact. You can keep reading and not absorb what's being read because the mind is here, there, and this is going on, that's going on. So if you read in a coffee shop, it's not going to sink in. Yeah, but I read, I was in Good Day Cafe, whatever, I was reading over there for 15 minutes. I've read the book in 1 month. I've read the book. I'm ready for the next. Nothing went in because little bleeding of conversation on that table. Some music is playing. Something else is happening. Outside there's a hangama because somebody, rammed into a car and there's a little bit of a bump over there. Nothing much going on. Nobody got hurt, but you heard the noise, and there's all kinds of stuff going on, and you're still reading. You're doing your job. You're reading, man, but you're not getting it's not sinking in. So when you work, you're not relating to the second time when you read it and you go, I understand now. I comprehend what's going on here. So you see, go to a quiet place where you're not disturbed. And when I read, sometimes Tiff says, you're not listening to me. I said, I'm reading. When I read, I ignore everything because I'm not that intelligent where I'm reading and everything is going on and I'm okay. I'm not that intelligent. I'm fairly intelligent, but I have to focus. If I don't focus and read, it's not going in. I do the same thing when I play the guitar. I cannot talk to you. I can sing a song because I know the words, but I cannot talk to you and play the guitar. I'm sorry. When I play the guitar, I might look at you, but I'll ignore you. I'm actually playing the guitar. I cannot, you can talk, you can smile. I'll have this blank look on my face. And they're like, he's looking at me, but he's not, I'm talking to him and he's not listening. I'm playing the guitar. I tune out. So if you can tune out, then you can be in a busy place and read the book. But if you can't, go to a quiet place. Like me, I need a quiet place to read. I cannot read. Now, what's interesting is I can write in a busy place. I can write in a busy place. I cannot read in a busy place. You go, why? Don't ask too many questions. It's not worth the effort to figure out why. Just accept. I cannot read in a busy place, but I can write in a busy place. My whole book I wrote in a cafe. The whole book I wrote in a cafe. And I was interrupted by people who I knew who'd come and sit down for 10 minutes and I'd chat with them and then get back to writing when they left. I don't know how I did that. They're pretty good, but I cannot read. If I'm reading, I need a quiet place. Now, obviously, you can read text messages and do all of that stuff in a busy place, but I'm talking about serious reading. So read and listen and rotate that, and then talk to people. I'm helping this woman who's a PhD in her business. It has nothing to do with our business. It has nothing to do with money. I'm not charging her anything. Nothing. Free. I'm helping her like I'm helping Suresh Pillai. I don't get anything out of him. I'm helping this woman. She has a PhD and she's brilliant with the way she talks, but I don't know her professional brilliance yet. But she heals people. She's not like a woo kind of woman. She's a real scientist. She heals people with diet and vitamins and exercise, like real problems. A person had cancer and in 3 months they went back and the cancer shrank because of what she's doing. So she's brilliant. Now she wants to do a business with that. And I'm helping her and she's doing very well. And everything I tell her she does. Oh my God. Everything I tell her she does. She has a PhD's mind, so she's comprehension is like she sucks it all in. But here's the thing, and I must give her credit for this. I just talked to her today. She is uncomfortable because she's a scientist. She's not a salesperson. She's not a businesswoman. She's a scientist. She's uncomfortable prospecting people, talking to people, from nowhere, just cold, strangers. And I taught her, but here's her credit. As uncomfortable as she is, she does it. She does it. She's 60 years old. It's very hard for a 60-year-old woman to change. A PhD, no less, huh? She's a successful woman. But this woman is like a 5-year-old learning a language. She's sucking everything I tell her into her brain and applying it instantaneously, not tomorrow, day after, right away. So she's healing people. And she doesn't know what, she talks to people and they're very excited and she doesn't know what to do. So I told her, I said, from now on, you're going to ask them a few questions and listen. She said, wow, I can do that. I said, yeah, but you won't be able to do the other things I'm going to tell you to do, but you're going to do that too. So she says, I want to. I said, you want to, you must, or I'm not going to help you. And she wants my help so badly that she'll do anything I tell her to do, even if she's uncomfortable. So I tell her, from now on, you're going to talk to people and kind of everybody, she says, complains. 65% of society has an illness or a chronic problem. That's too much. That is too much. We're living in a crappy world. 65% of society has an illness or a chronic problem. Back problem, migraine, this thing, that, not death, not debilitating, but just constant problem. So she talks to them and I say, ask questions pertaining to the problem. Once they complain, ask them questions pertaining to the problem. She said, wow, why didn't I think of that? I said, don't waste your time saying, why didn't I think of that? Just listen to what I'm saying and do it. So she said, okay. I said, ask them questions pertaining to the problem and say, do you have any other issues other than that? And get into a good conversation and then say, I have a business. She has a website and everything, but it doesn't do any business. It's like she doesn't know how to get past go. So I say, tell them that for $189, no, for $289. Why $289? She says 250. I said, make it 289. Sounds better than 250. And it's more. But 89 sounds better than a round figure. So you say $289. I have a 90-minute detailed consultant with my business, and I can solve your problem. After that, it is $4,000 for 90 days, 3 months, and you'll see a tremendous change in your problem. So I say, after you talk and find out their problem, give them the 289, and you say, you think about it. If it works for you, great. If not, no problem. I'm good. You're good. We're good. This was 10 days ago. She had 4 people in 10 days give her $289, and all 4 of them have given her $4,000. So now she's got $16,000 plus 4 times 289. She is freaking out. She's like, everything you say is the truth. I said, why would I lie to you? I'm not even charging you anything. She says, wow, I have a real business. I said, so you didn't believe you had a real business. That's your first problem. You don't believe you have a real business. You can't go forward with it. You have to believe. The first person you sell is you. The first person you sell is you. Then you sell other people once you're sold. And if you don't believe that you have a business, you're going to choke. She says, wow. What time are you going to do a webinar for a bunch of people? I can't talk to you. And then in the afternoon, I've got some stuff. So she says, can I call you late afternoon? I said, for a little bit. She cannot get enough of me. And it's amazing that, what? So it's amazing that when somebody wants something, you cannot stop them. You cannot stop them. You cannot stop this woman. No matter what you do to her, she's going to say, Leo, 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 Leo. And I say, don't say Leo, say God. Don't say Leo. I'm just the messenger. It's God. It's not Leo. It is never Leo. And it's never you. We're doing the work, we're making the choices. That's all. We can take credit for the choices and the work. The results are all God. I said, you made the choice to listen to me. You made the choice to act. That means do the work. Then it's God who blessed you with the in 10 days, she's got $16,000 plus 1,100 and something dollars. 1,116. So she's got $17,116 in 10 days. And she has not started yet. She says, I'm still like not doing it full time. I said, the next thing is, I'm going to walk away from you if you don't do it full time. Because you're showing signs of laziness. And I don't work with lazy people. If you're not going to do it full time, then you're not going to build a real thing. And you're not really interested in helping people. You're only interested in some money. And then I'm not interested. Because if you're going to really help people. So now she wants me to become her partner. Because she's also smart. She's a PhD. She says if I lock the sucker in, he can't go anywhere else. If I lock him in, I got him forever. And I said, I'm not sure. I have to think about it. Now you say, why don't you get involved with the website and this thing? Yes, that's an opportunity. But then everything in life is not money. And I'm not the person giving the real work. But I could bring people to her. That's true. So that's part I'm thinking about. But I already have my hands full. How much should I do? Then the other side of me says, God has given you an ability, do it all the time. As long as you're awake, keep doing something. Right? Whether it makes money or not is not the point. So I've been helping her. And it's a joy to help somebody like that, by the way. When you find somebody like that, it's a joy. Because they just don't talk. They do. And now she says to me, you know that thing you told me like about 6 weeks ago? It came true yesterday. So she's comprehending now. Because what I had told her is coming to fruition. And she's like, man, this is amazing. And what am I telling her? I'm telling her what I did. And what did I do? I worked hard and made some choices. God bless me. I said, if you do all the things right, God will bless you. And you give him all the praise. Don't give Leo praise and don't take any praise. You take credit for your decision and your work. The praise for the results goes to God, not to Leo. She says, oh, wow. I said, and one thing I want to tell you, I've told this to a lot of people and very few listen. She says, what? I said, when you become successful, and you will, because you obviously have something. Don't think you're cat whiskers. Remain humble. Have humility. Know that it's all not you. Okay? So she says, oh, yeah, I will do that. I said, yeah, we haven't seen you become real successful. She says, well, I've had success in my life. I said, you haven't had the kind of success I'm talking about. PhD is very good, very successful. Just to get a PhD is very successful. But the success I'm talking about makes people think that other people are lesser than them. They're superior. And that's what we should not do. Can you be confident? Yes. But you shouldn't be arrogant. Can you be confident? Yes. Can you stand strong and say, I want it done this way? Yes. When you know it's the right thing to do, you stand firm and get it done that way. That's not behaving arrogantly. You know what's right and get it done that way. Don't accept anything less than that standard. But when you're in a social setting, when you're and people are like, wow, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, wow, just relax. You too have to go to the bathroom every day. You're no superior person, okay? Everybody is like, okay, all right? So just relax. We're all okay. All of us are okay. Some of us have honed our skills more than others. Yes, you're right. Some of us are more disciplined than others. Yes, you're right. But it's a choice. Discipline is a choice. Do you want to be disciplined or not? Do you want to talk and not do or not? Do you want to talk and do? What do you want to do is your choice. It's purely your choice. And your success is based on your choices. And if you do right, you'll be fine. But if you talk and know everything correctly, but don't do, you're not going to function. The only people who talk very well and don't do are professors and teachers. You know? Now, in law school and in medical school, the professors actually are doctors and lawyers who actually do the work. But in other things, like a chemistry professor, he hasn't done squat. He's just bloody got a PhD in chemistry and he's just teaching it. That's all. He's got book knowledge. She's got book knowledge. Same with, all the teachers that I went to school with. They did nothing. They just taught. They learned and taught. They didn't do. We have to learn, do, and teach. That's the difference between us and teachers. We learn, do, and teach. We don't learn and teach. There are a lot of IBOs in my business that know a lot. But when they don't do, they don't teach. Would you like somebody who has listened to everything and attended seminars and read books and all that to teach in your business at 100 PV? No. If they don't do, they don't teach. I don't care how big they are in other fields. They could be scientists and actors and singers and songwriters and athletes and musicians and whatever. Politicians. If they don't do, they don't teach. Nee, but this guy is like awesome. This woman is like, I remember we went to Nashik. And this was like 1997. That was pre-launch. Market launched March of 98. And the actual money was starting from, I think, May of 1998. But in September 97 was my first trip to India to launch the business. So September we went to Nashik. We came to Mumbai. We went to Nashik and then we went to Pune. So that's like a little triangle, right? So we went to Nashik. And in Nashik, I told this guy whom I was corresponding with, hey, put a bunch of people together. I'm going to come and discuss a business. And he says, what is the criteria? I said, human. Human beings is the criteria. Adult human beings, no children. So he says, but if they're not business people or in sales and marketing, like I said, humans, doesn't matter. Any field, put them together. So he said, can I ask you what business it is? So I said, yes, but you won't understand it. I'll tell you what it is. So I told him what it was, and he didn't understand it. So I said, put people together, and I'll come there, and we'll do some business. So we went to Nashik, and I had met my cousin Prabha, who passed away. He died, but he was my personal in India for your group, and he sponsored a wing commander in the Air Force called Anand Shenoy. And Anand Shenoy and Prabha, David, my cousin, and me, and Tiffany. Tiffany was with me. We went to Nashik. And the guy in Nashik had like 150 people in a room. Not knowing anything. I like that. Sometimes we tell them too much. So they start to make up their mind who to invite, who not. If you don't tell them anything, they're like, just bring human beings. So there was about 150 people, maybe 145, maybe 140, but there was like about 150 people. And what he did was he put all these chairs on the stage, and he wanted all of us to be sitting on the stage. Anand Shenoy, Prabhakar David, Tiffany Jesudian, Leo Jesudian, the mayor of Nashik. He brought the mayor of Nashik. The mayor. the number one politician, right? It was a woman. He brought her, and he brought a few other people, like some police guy, sub-inspector, somebody else, like some important people. And we went there, and there were all these chairs on this before the meeting, and stage. So he says, and he started naming people, and then the mayor, I said, take all the chairs out. So he said, no, these are important people. I said, take all the chairs out. There's only one important person. And he said, who? The person speaking. That's it. Only the person speaking on stage. Everybody else off stage. I think I told him that we want nobody on stage. I don't care if they're the mayor. I don't want them talking. Now, you will introduce Prabhakar David and Anand Shenoy, and they will go and they'll speak for 1 minute each. And then one of them is going to introduce me, and I'm going to go on stage. And then when I'm done, I'm going to bring my wife up, and she will say a few words, and we'll wrap it up. That's it. End the conversation. Nobody else gets to speak. It was a very awkward thing. But you see, I don't care how important people are. I learned in this business is that if you don't do, you don't get to speak, and you don't get to influence the public. The influencers are people who know and who can lead people in a proper direction that will be beneficial to them, or they don't. They don't get to hold the mic. They don't get to address the crowd. So I want you to understand that in order for you to speak to people, you need to get involved with the system, the intermediate system that has been put in place by Sharadan Rashmi, Mukundan Swati, Sanjay and Hema, Shwarna and Deepak, and the Pillais. Use those, and when the company comes up with a system, great, we'll transition into that. In the meantime, that's what we're going to do. Sangha.
तो लियो, जो मैंने शुरुआत की थी कि आपको सब जगह की सफर हो जाएगी, स्पिरिचुअल भी मिलेगा, इंटरनेशनल भी सब मिलेगा, पर्सनैलिटी डेवलप का भी मिलेगा, सब कुछ। ये ऐसा यूनिक प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां सब कुछ मिलेगा। हम सब की तरफ से हम आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद नहीं, एक मराठी में एक अच्छा है, कृतज्ञ आहोत आम्ही, मतलब ग्रेटिट्यूड का एकदम हाईएस्ट लेवल है वो, कि ऐसी सफर हम सबको आपने की है और हम शुरुआत करेंगे। और हम आपको कहना चाहते हैं कि जैसे हमने कहा था कि आपकी हमें जरूरत है, तो हमें आप बता दीजिए आप कभी कभी अवेलेबल नहीं है, उसके हिसाब से हम लोग फिर शेड्यूल करेंगे हमारी नेक्स्ट सेशन वगैरह। और सबकी तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत थैंक यू। 10 बजे ऑलरेडी बज चुके हैं और फिर हम ऐसे ही अच्छे सेशन लेके मिलेंगे। थैंक यू एंड गुड नाइट।
Thank you, Leo.